Hey nail sisters, welcome if you're new here or welcome back to another video. This video I will show a simple nail design for beginners. Here I'm showing how to shape your nail tips if you have coffin shape. You want to start underneath the nail and then you want to begin to bring that file coming inward in the same direction as your sidewall, but at some point you want to stop filing the middle section because you want to keep the body of that nail. So here I'm leaving a space in between and I'm just focusing more on the edge and the tip part to get more of a coffin shape. And what I also do is keep my file straight when I'm trying to get a crisp shape. And I also like to turn the nail my view, as you will see in a second, to get more of this shape as well. And I am using a 80/80 grit file, as that to me, gives you the best crisp shape. So now I'm going in with my medium sanding band and I'm taking away the shine. So one thing that I do like about these full covered tips is they almost look like you have acrylic on, but you don't. And I will leave a link as to where I got these from. I believe I got them from either eBay or Amazon. Also, one tip that I want to give out is when you're trying to fit and wear, let's say, for example, press-ons or the press full cover tips, what you want to do is make sure that it fits snug with your nail and the cuticle, because if not, a lot of the times this is what can cause lifting if you have improper size, along with not prepping your nail as well. So I would definitely say make sure to file the top part of that nail tip so that it fits. You don't want it to be tight to where it's going to pop off, but you want it to fit. So if your cuticle area is like a square, or if it's a round or oval, make sure to go in that direction. I definitely spend a good 30 to 45 minutes prepping my nails, and this way the nails will last a lot longer. So now I'm just dusting everything off, and I didn't put anything after this, no alcohol, no water, no nothing. And next I'm going in with this D&D color. This is called Rose Beige, and you all seen this in my new video, but in that video I showed where the coverage was more of a deeper tone. I wanted it to be more of a sheer color by just doing one coat instead of 2 to 3 coats. And I did cure the nails for 30 seconds. At the end, I went back and cured the whole hand for 60 seconds. You also want to be sure to use thin layers when you're applying your gel polish, because I feel like with some gel polish, it definitely helps to prevent heat spikes, especially with some gel polish. The thicker the gel, the more likely that you can get heat spikes, especially if you build it too thick. Now, one thing with D&D that I definitely love is that I don't get heat spikes because it's not a thick gel. It's more of a looser medium consistency, especially the one with the gold handle. So I don't usually have that because like I said, I do thin layers. So if you are experiencing the heat spikes, just try this out and see if that helps you with that. So this is how the nails look after, and it really looks like I put acrylic on, almost similar to a cover nude / pink acrylic color. And that's why I said I really like these full coverage tips. Now I'm going in with this liner nail art brush, and this is a 12mm by Markartt. And these brushes really make it easy if you are a beginner or starting out. If you really want a brush that does all the work for you, I think that is definitely key to developing a relationship with your brush to where you feel comfortable with it when you're using it. And it's also all about the angle and pressure. So I'm starting out by putting down a straight line down the middle, because I'm going to have the design with a straight line coming down the center of the nail. And then closer towards the top, you will see in a second where I show how I wanted more of a Y shape. So this design at the top area is going to be where I put the Y shape. And then I'm going back to what I was saying with the brushes is that, okay, so real quick right here, I'm showing the line coming down. And one thing that I want to say is what you can do if you're not good at drawing a straight line is to just lay down the design first. And then you can also put your dots and then your placement. This way you can go back in and refine the design and fix it. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I put a line down and going down straight down the middle. So I don't necessarily worry about how it looks right off the bat. I feel like you can always go back in and pick up more gel to fill in the areas that you may missed, or also refine how the design actually looks. So I don't spend too much time with how it looks right away. You know, once I lay it down and I get everything how I want it to look, then I start to go in and fix the areas that I may actually miss or need to clean up. So now I'm showing how I'm turning my finger my view. It's easier to turn it my view so that I can draw a upside down Y. And this is why I say it's very crucial to find a brush that you're comfortable with. Now, I did switch brush in this video, and I wish that I would have used my other brush. It's also by Markartt, but it's a 9mm. But I'm more comfortable with that than I am with the 12, especially when you're doing fine detail. I think that that's the same, like if you use a size 16 acrylic brush, then you try to use a size 8 brush, you know, you make it the result, but it may not be as how you want it to be because you're so accustomed and used to using that particular brush. So I'm the same way with nail art brushes. I don't really care for this one in particular because I can't really go in and do a lot of fine detail work. I really like to work with the smaller brush. So here I'm filling in the space up at the top, and you will see that my index finger looks a little bit bigger with the design at the top than the middle finger because I didn't know at first if I wanted that shape to be big or small. So that's why both of them look different. The key thing is to not overthink when you're trying to do nail art in general because it can become really stressful, especially if you're a beginner. And it's also all about stability with your finger. That's very, very important as well because if you don't have stability, like as you can see, I'm using my pinky to stabilize the brush. And this way, I'm not shaking all over the place. It really helps you to maneuver and move that brush like you need to. I did leave me showing majority of the nails, so anybody who wants a longer tutorial, you can actually see what I'm doing in real time. I will go back in to fix my lines and make them more crisp, and to clean them up I do use a cleanup brush and a little alcohol, sometimes acetone as well. I will leave a link down in the description as where I get my cleanup brushes from. This is an example of what I was talking about when I said that you can you can put down 2 lines and then you can fill them in the middle portion. So that's exactly a good example as to why I said don't worry about how it looks when you first place down the lines because you can always go back in and fill in. And I'm not curing each of these nails. I'm going to cure it at the end as this gel is not really moving or runny, so it's okay that I'm not curing it. Now I also have a gel that's a lot thicker, and that one I do like to do more nail art with. I feel like the gels that you use, whether you use like liner gel, gel paint, all of that makes a difference with when you're doing nail art. Some consistencies are too loose and runny and they just will start running all over the place, and I don't really like to use those. I like something with more form to where it will hold and sit until I get ready to cure it. Now looking back at that index finger, I really wish that I would have cleaned that up because it's starting to look like an alien with a big old head and a small body. The reason that I don't go in with a lot of gel, so one reason is that this helps to prevent the bulkiness that gel will start to build up, especially if you have a lot on your brush. But another reason is that when I'm doing any type of artwork or filling in spaces, I like to pick up only like a minimum, because that way I like to work smarter, not harder, basically. That way, when I do go in, as you can see here, I'm filling in that small little space. And if I have too much on my brush and if I put too much pressure, then it's gonna spread that line out much further than I need it to go. So this is the main reason why I don't like to pick up a lot of gel when I'm doing nail art. This is how the nails looked after I finished drawing the lines. Now I'm going in with D&D number 274. This is called Zesty Vibes, and it is more of a neon color, but I did want more of a pastel peach color. So what I'm doing here is going on the side, and I wanted it to look like a French tip, but not the deep French. So I'm drawing it down on both sides, and then I'm going to fill those areas in. And to get them all looking the same, what you can do is, you'll see in a second that I line up the last one and with the next finger so that they all look the same. So that is another thing that helps me, is I may put down points, or I just visualize in my head where I want the last line to be placed, and then where I would like the next line to be placed as well. I'm also doing this gel really thin on the sides because I don't want the gel polish to become bulky on the side of the nail, as this can definitely change the shape of how the nail looks at the end. So I'm making sure to keep this in mind as well. This is how that D&D color looks inside the bottle. It is, like I said, a neon orange. It's not all the way a true orange. So to get the pastel color that I wanted, I just basically took that color and mixed it with a white gel color. And I think it's easier to, if you want to get a pastel color, it's easier to go from a light color to a pastel than it is to go from a very dark color to try to get a pastel color. Because when you go from a dark color, you have to add so many colors so that you get that perfect mix. Here I'm using my dotting tool to fill in those spaces. And, if you don't know how to draw, again, I always say you can use your dotting tool. It's a great tool to use to fill in spaces and to do artwork with. You will see in a second that I wish that I would have kept this color by itself instead of filling it. I'm going to fill in the other area with a different color, but I really wish that I would have kept it this color. I really like how it's giving a classy vibes, especially with the coffin shape. I forgot to mention that I did not apply any top coat when I'm doing the nail art because I don't want a slippery surface. I really want the nail art to sit flat on the nail, and I find that it makes it much harder if you do put a top coat before your nail art. So I really like that surface to not be sticky or smooth, so the nail art can actually have something to adhere. So towards the end, I will top coat these nails at the very end once I'm finished everything and cleaning up. or to refine how the design actually looks. So don't spend too much time with, if it doesn't look right when you lay it down, because that's just your starting point, and then you go in and actually start putting in, fixing the lines and all of that. So I want you all's opinion on something. Comment down below. Do you find it harder to use gel polish versus like gel nail art, or the gel liner art that also come in a container, like the little pots? Because for me, I find it much harder to do a very crisp, clean, neat, straight art when it with just using gel polish. For some reason, I just cannot get the look that I want with gel polish. And I think that definitely goes to how they say, depending on what product you use makes a difference when it comes to nails. And this is it. Like, this is one of those instances where using certain products, in my opinion, with nail art does make a huge difference. And I just can't get the look that I want with gel polish because of the consistency. Now I'm going in and drawing that French line on the other side. This color is by D&D number 255. This is called Chasing Summer. And this color, it comes off like almost like a sea turquoise, not turquoise, sea blue color, like of the ocean. And then to get more of a turquoise, I basically mixed it with white. So that's the color that you see here, and I'm filling it in with my brush. I was thinking of also drawing a palm tree like on one side, but I was like, let me just keep these nails simple for a beginner. I really feel like this is, a good design if you're starting out with nail art. Something simple, doesn't take you too long, and you can use, like I said, your dotting tool. I really love to do simple, classy sets that really don't take that long. I used to like draw on the nail, all that intricate stuff, and now I'm just getting to the point where it's like my back can't take it anymore, and I just feel like these sets look, just as good as the sets with the more details. Once I added this color to it, I felt like it really was giving me tropical vibes, vacation nails. Like, it was really giving me, I need to be on somebody's beach right now, drinking 1800 Don Julio. If you made it this far in this video, thank you for watching, and I hope that you all learned something, and I'll see you all in my next video.